battling with how prepared is the staff or how equipped we are technologically to take the baton forward.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true,
I
ma'am.
would request you all to please encourage your staff and parents and everyone to join in this discussion because it's an extremely pertinent issue. And it's important that everyone understands the challenges that the schools, that the staff, that the country by and large is facing towards its implementation.
Ma'am, we have already circulated the registration link and all requested parents as well as teachers and the staff to just join this. Let's see, few of them are already engaged, so they are not like they're unfortunate to join this, but rest will definitely join.
Sure. That's good. And we have with us our third panelist from Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, Ms. Lakshmi. Good evening, Lakshmi, Ms. Lakshmi Madhavan.
So hi, ma'am. Good evening. So it's really pleasure to join you.
It's a pleasure to hear your insights and to have that variation from school to university. So I think there's going to be a lot of symbiotic exchange of maybe how prepared the principal, the school heads could look at the student preparedness and meet up to the expectations of the universities. And I think the stage is open to all of you. It's 4-1. Are we ready to start or should we wait?
I think we should have started, ma'am. I
Yes,
am actually bound up with few things.
for sure. So I think Team Edudevs, we should not delay and start the deliberation for today's webinar.
Sure, ma'am. Good evening, all. My name is Anjali, and I am from EduDevs. Before we begin the session, I would like to ask a few questions. We are sharing these questions in a chat box, and the first 5 participants who answers correctly will get a certificate. And now let's play the fastest fingers first. So, team, please share the questions in the chat box, and I am repeating. The first one is how many sub goals are there in SDG 4? The second is which goal talks about equal access to affordable technical, vocational, and higher education. The third is which SDG goals ensure that all learners acquire the knowledge and skills needed to promote sustainable development. Please write your answers in a chat box. We are waiting.
Ma'am, your voice is literally breaking. I'm not able to hear you properly.
Okay, so questions are in a chat box.
That's fine.
Yes, I am receiving responses. Yes. Thank you all for all your responses. We will announce the results at the end of the session. Now I'm handing over the stage to our founder and director, Ms. Devyani Kapoor. She is the moderator of the session. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Anjali. And what a great start to this. And you've already tested the knowledge of our educators and participants. The voice is still breaking. Tech team, please look into this. The role of NEP in achieving UN Sustainable Goals. This is the topic of today's webinar. You see, Sustainable Development Goals, and especially Goal 4, is the goal of education. Education goal. It aims to ensure inclusive, equitable, quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. The same ethos resonates in the NEP Bible as well. The aim of the policy, definitely, as we all know, is universalization of education from preschool to secondary to higher education with 100% gross enrollment ratio, especially in schools by 2030. What a Herculean task in front of a demographic structure, a demographic area like India. Now, the changes in the socio-economic structure of India have intensified the need for universal early childhood education. We see the formidable challenges that the government is facing today are, first of all, to provide high quality early childhood education programs to the children, but more importantly, to bring the students back to school. These are the other challenges are integrating technology in the tier 2, tier 3 cities, and so many, which I will not speak about, and I will have my esteemed panelists to discuss and deliberate on this issue. A very good afternoon to one and all. I am Devyani Kapoor, your moderator for today, and I'm delighted to welcome you all to yet another episode of Futuristic Education, a web series dedicated to education, an education initiative in collaboration with Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham to enlighten and empower the education community in the education trends of the future. Because we know the future of education will be very, very different from the present. The episode is city-based web series, and I'm happy to announce that today's city is Muradabad. And without much ado, let me quickly introduce you to our esteemed panelists. Today we have with us Ms. Lakshmi Madhavan, MTech in Computer Science Engineering, Assistant Manager, Career Counseling Office of Director of Admissions, Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, Coimbatore. Let us welcome now Ms. Pratiksha Dikshit, Dr. Pratiksha Dikshit, who is the principal of Springfield School, Muradabad. From Muradabad, we also have Ms. Shalini Gupta, principal, Global Public School. I welcome all of our esteemed panel to today's episode. You see, education is most fundamental need. And last many 2 decades, there have been major changes in the education industry by and large. There has been a question of the learning outcomes of the students. There has been questioning to the pedagogical deliveries that we have been having till date. And so we saw that to meet, and that led to a crisis. To meet this crisis, which was a global crisis in the industry, we saw, because the education industry was producing robots churned out of a factory. If I'm reminded of someone who narrated that if a person born after 100 years will find everything changed, the lifestyle, the infrastructure, the everything would have changed, but the education, where he would see rows of students sitting in the classrooms with passively receiving knowledge. This is one sector which realized, which needed a full-fledged revamping of the structures. And thus came the SDG goals, in alignment with the UN vision and manifesto of providing quality education as one of its 17 SDGs. The government of India launched National Education Policy 2020. Now, the policy is a Herculean document. It's a lofty and a robust document, but implementation requires a lot of brainstorming, a lot of planning, and not just planning, strategic planning. My question, icebreaking question to my esteemed panelists is, as said earlier, that the proposed sustainable development goals all are talk about ensuring inclusive quality education and promoting students as lifelong learners. And my question to you would be in the order of, first, Ms. Lakshmi would answer, then Dr. Pratiksha, and finally, Ms. Shalini Gupta. And your time would be restricted to 2 minutes. So what are the core education related goals of UN under its 2030 agenda for SDGs? If you could broadly make our viewers understand what the UN development goals, especially for education, talk about and why are they talking about? Yes, Lakshmi.
So, ma'am, I think before starting the session, I would like to say something like there is some issue because a lot of participants are saying that some echo is there and they're not able to hear. We need to check on it. Yes. So I hope my audio is clear.
Yes, ma'am. Audio is clear, but there is some echo.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll be discussing about the 4 education-related goals of UN. It's for its 2030 agenda for the SDG. So we all know it's the goal for it's mostly targeting for something called quality education. So it is to ensure the inclusive as well as the equitable quality education and promoting lifelong learning opportunities to every individual. There are we all know about the target having how many targets it's having. It's having 10 targets, and out of them, 7 targets are the expected outcomes, and the rest 3 are of how we are going to implement this or by which means we are going to achieve them. So I would just quickly go through all of them. So we know it mainly focuses on the education part. So providing free primary and secondary education to the school children, and providing equal access or equal importance to the quality pre-primary education. We know the importance of preparing our children to school, preparing our children for the primary education, and giving importance to the vocational and the higher education sector. We need to prepare our people, our younger generation. We need to embed them with different skills which is needed or which can give them financial security or which can enable them financial success through the jobs. And it mainly focuses on eliminating all the discriminations in education, whether it's from different background or whether it's the financial sector or whatever is it. Then universal literacy and numeracy is another important goal which is there in the SDP 4. And as you all listed in the chat box, education for sustainable development and global citizenships. Then building and upgrading the concept into safe schools. it has to be safe for every student, every individual. And the promotion of higher education in the promoting the scholarships for the different countries like the African and all those countries, the method of implementing the scholarships for all these developing nations. And I would like to say that how to improve the teachers, increasing the supply of teachers, training them in different parts. So all these are some of the goals, or all these are some of the important parts of the goal 4 of the sustainable development or the UN.
Thank you so much, Lakshmi, that you did speak broadly about the aspirations of the Sustainable Development Goals, which definitely is inclusive, quality education, and universalization. So 3 words really hold strong and tall. Now let us see what Dr. Pratiksha Dikshit has to speak about the core, fundamentals of the SDGs. Yeah.
Namaskar, everyone. Good evening, Ma'am Devyani, Ma'am Lakshmi, Ma'am Shalini, and all the participants and educators and academicians. It's really a pleasure to join this panel discussion. And as explained by Ma'am Lakshmi, target 4.7 of Sustainable Development Goals, which is targeted by 2030, I think, in my views, it ensures that all learners acquire knowledge and skills needed to promote sustainable development through education for sustainable development and sustainable lifestyles. Many more things associated with it, like human rights, gender equality, promotion of a culture of peace and non-violence, then global citizenship, and appreciation for cultural diversity. And along with this, our cultural contribution also matters a lot to sustainable development, together with the global citizenship education, which is the contemporary aspect of education, and with its overall aim to develop cross-cutting sustainability competencies in learners. When we talk about, then education for sustainable development is an essential contribution to all efforts to achieve the SDGs, all the SDGs, enabling individuals to contribute to sustainable development. And how can we do it? By promoting societal, economic, and political changes, as well as by transforming their own behavior, which is the need of the hour. ESD can produce specific cognitive, socio-emotional, and behavioral learning outcomes that enable individuals to deal with the particular challenges of each of the 17 SDGs. Thus, it will facilitate its achievement in turn. So in short, I can say that ESD, that is Education for Sustainable Development, it enables all individuals, all its stakeholders to contribute to achieving the SDGs by equipping them with the knowledge and competencies they need, not only to understand what the SDGs are all about, but to engage as informed citizens in bringing about the necessary transformation. So I think this NEP, in context with social development, SDGs, it is working well, and of course we are going to achieve our objectives, what has been targeted. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Pratiksha. I think you said something really nice, that ESD, which is Education for Sustainable Development, which is goal 4 of the SDGs, can be called as the crowning glory of all the sustainable development goals, or probably it lies at the hem of all sustainable goals, because nothing can be achieved unless we create informed citizens. Nothing can be achieved if we empower and make our citizens aware about the challenges and the crisis the world is into. Thank you so much, Dr. Pratiksha. Yes, Ms. Shalini Gupta, what do you, and maybe whichever goal you want to highlight, and how you look at the SDG, the core of the SDGs? Yes, Ms. Shalini.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, yes, you're audible.
Good evening, everyone. I'm literally honored to be there on this platform with such eminent panelists over here. A very warm greetings to Pratiksha ma'am, who's one of my colleagues over here in Moradabad. Greetings, I'm conveying my greetings to Lakshmi ma'am over here, and obviously Devyani ma'am, who's actually the moderator today, and all the people who are present on this platform. So I'm glad to be here. When we talk about SDGs, Sustainable Developmental Goals, it is nothing new. It is not a new term for India because India is a country which believes in sustainability since its origin. So when we talk about this, we need to understand a very basic term, that is sustainability and about the development, which goes hand in hand. When we talk about, as according to me, being educated is an entity that influences the socio-economic outcome of an individual. To sustain that individuality, to develop a person's individuality, it is very much important to talk about the basic features of it. And in terms of if we talk about UN SDG goals and all, it is obviously India being such a developing country, we need to be in that race. So, and before that, our generation, which is leading us towards that, we need to keep in account certain terms and conditions. First is the readiness of understanding or learning what is happening in today's world. So that readiness which is lacking behind, as we have seen, we have come across the COVID and all, post-COVID period is going on. It becomes so difficult for India that time when it was difficult to reach that student which is there in the remotest area to reach that, but we did our best. It is just because of our policies and the strategies framed out, and the very point that is there in the brain of the government is to not to leave any child behind. We need to take everyone all together and move on. So I feel that inclusive education is the basic goal which has to be taken up, that no individual should be left behind. Everyone has to be taken up all together, and we need to move towards this progression. Second thing is that openness to education, that is where there is no restriction about languages, there is no restriction about choosing up a career or the streams or anything that has to be taken up. When we talk about development, obviously it is a collaborative sort of working, where we talk about progress in terms of industrial development, in terms of your brain drain, in terms of your skill-based technologies and all. So when we talk about digitalization and all, then we have to obviously be very competitive in that field also. So a single platform has to come where we could judge our education system, we could test ourselves whether we are capable enough to compete in that race. So SDG goals, when taken up all together from you, and it means being a part of it, we need to come on that same platform. I think everybody has to go for it, and India is one of the pioneers in the group of leading group. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Very well said that we shouldn't look at SDGs as something new. This has always been the demand of the world. It's just that as a world, we documented them. We understood the crisis, we became more aware, and we realized that it's important to document them, and it's important to create that kind of awareness. And what you said, Ms. Shalini, about inclusivity of education and the target that no child to be left behind and deprived of education. I think that is where lies the essence of the education policy. Rest is, I think, all are the processes that are attached to achieving this Herculean. But the essence is that once we ensure that education reaches to each and every child in the remotest of the areas, that is where, as a country, we can feel proud that we have achieved, truly achieved the national education policy. Thank you so much, Ms. Shalini. Now, moving on to the specific question round, we see my question is to Dr. Pratiksha, but definitely I will like the participants, if they wish to contribute, to be free to do that. Now, education policy lays particular emphasis on the development of creative potential of each individual. It is based on the principle that education must develop not only, as Dr. Pratiksha, you were talking about, cognitive capacities, but both foundational capacities of literacy and numeracy and higher order. Now, can you explain the importance of these foundational capacities, which is so much being talked about? Team Edudevs, the voice echoing has again started. Please see why. Dr. Pratiksha.
Yeah, ma'am, very apt question put up by you. Foundational capacities as per NEP. So the NEP is built on the initial pillars, which are, access, equity, quality of education, affordability, and accountability, right? And for which 5+3+3+4 curricular and pedagogical structure has been developed, which is based on cognitive and socio-emotional developmental stages of children. It has been proposed. So I think it also seeks to ensure foundational literacy and numeracy in a mission mode, and a host of curricular changes and reduced content load in school educational curriculum, as well as assessment reforms, which is very, very important for holistic development of students. NEP 2020 promotes active pedagogy, development of core capabilities, capacities, and life skills, including 21st century skills, though we have started talking about 22nd century skills also. Then experiential learning, experimental learning at all stages, low stake board exams, so that students are less pressurized, they are not at all pressurized. Then holistic progress card has been proposed, and transformation in assessment to promote critical and higher order thinking skill among students. So along with this, foundational capacities also include mainstreaming of vocational educations, which vocational education and reforms in teaching education, which is very, very important. So it puts focus on empowerment of teachers and improving their recruitment, their training process, service conditions, transfer policy, and career progression opportunities at all levels. Because when teachers are empowered, when
Dr.
teachers
Pratiksha will come. Dr. Pratiksha will come to the teacher point. At the moment, we really want your inputs on foundational capacity.
What I am sharing. There is also greater emphasis on planning and administration part in NEP. It is also foundational requirement. NEP also emphasizes upon recognizing, identifying, and fostering the unique capabilities of each student by sensitizing each and every stakeholder to promote every student's holistic development, individual development, both in academic and non-academic spheres. So according to me, these are the foundational capacities NEP is contributing.
Ms. Shalini, would you like to add? Because this is something which has become a very talk of the educational corridors. Would you like to throw some light on the importance of foundational capacities? Yes, Ms. Shalini.
Okay, yeah, I'm unmuted, I think. Ma'am, when we talk about the foundational literacy mission, basically the foundation of any education based on the very fact that it's it like being human or being human being. First thing related to any of the child's birth, since the age, since life comes into existence, education starts up. Education never ends. It is like from cradle till grave. It goes on. So when we talk about foundation literacy, it means that every child should have that primary basic education, which is only limited or limitized of the things that is literacy. It is not education. It is literacy. Making somebody capable of reading and writing. That is literacy. But when we talk about education, that involves a whole lot of other features into it. That is a skill, That is, a child should get precise into that. Skill training should be given over there. The complete assessment of a child should be there. Evaluation of the particular thing should be there. So when we talk about foundation literacy and all, so it's not about the single descriptor that has to be taken, but it is about the all-round or the holistic development of a child. So we need to think about, we need to work on all those parameters, which is basically important for the development of a child from the very beginning. Foundation has to be laid out in terms of that every minute thing which is actually needed at that particular age of time, and we have to grow. Then this being a literacy mission, we have to come forward to have the educative sort of a mission.
Right. I think, yes, because foundational literacy and numeracy has been identified as the core of the, am I muted? No, as the core of the education, because I think till date, the country has been neglecting the pre-primary education in terms of the status, of Anganwadis and the play schools, especially in the government sector. Now, with this realization, with this policy coming in, there is a special emphasis because it has been identified that the cognitive and the physical development of the child is maximum, and hence the focus on numeracy and literacy. Thank you so much, Ms. Shalini, for throwing light on this. And now we come to what Dr. Pratiksha was talking about, which I'm sure Ms. Shalini will agree with. And I would like also Ms. Lakshmi to comment on that, because by far all the policy documents, whether it was the Kothari Commission, the policy 2000, the earlier education policies, or the National Education Policy 2020, all recognizes that to have reforms, meaningful reforms in the education sector, the critical role of educator is identified, and critical role of educator in providing quality education. Something which we have always been talking about, child as the center of teaching learning process, but we kept on neglecting the most important component, and that how prepared the educator is. Maybe we didn't have the need, but the last 20 years, last 2 decades, the world has greatly changed, unprecedented changes. We have stepped into a new world order. Certain skills have become important. It's become important not to emphasize on curriculums, but to emphasize on skills. So my question to you first, Ms. Shalini, is that how does this, and there is also the dearth of skilled teachers. Normally, teachers come in the profession because they feel it's a half-day job. Teaching is not the first preference of the educator. So in such a scenario, how will we ensure quality education to impart it to the students, and that NEP to be successfully implemented?
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Actually, rightly said. We always use a proverb that is whether it's a profession by choice over chance. We always say that. And nowadays we have been observing this n number of students are it's not because they desire or aspire to be into education line, it's just because they're not getting good wages or their salaries are not that good or they're not getting employment anywhere else, so they are coming into this world of education. So your question is actually up to the mark, because this is what is happening. The students who are coming here, the candidates who have no interest, doesn't want to be into education just because it's like getting influence from their peers or not getting a job anywhere else, they're coming into it. So first, I would like to just throw light on the points why the students, they don't opt for their own careers, the choices they really want to make. So I think first is the parental pressures or the aspirations of the parents. They don't go for what they want, what their parents are looking forward from them. They generally look out such options, careers. Like if they are from the doctor's family, the medicals are there, the engineers are in the family. So it's a sort of, unseen sort of a pressure on their minds, and they automatically being drawn towards this line only, medicals and engineering. Then I think then the peer pressure plays a big role. The group decides themselves that most of them are opting for engineering or science stream, and also they move towards that. I think then sometimes, I have seen that number of the students are not able to realize their true potential, their latent qualities also. So just because what they heard from somewhere else, they are not given the career counseling, they haven't gone through it nicely. So they just opted whatever comes to them. Sometimes the major issue I have seen is that because whatever their pocket says, the money, the amount they have, somewhere it plays a major role. They opt the career according to their pocket where they can pay the fees and all. And lastly, but not the least, I can say that the point which is like the certain courses, they are doing it just there to have the degrees or the certificates to make them capable of that. Yes, we are entitled to this graduation, post-graduation, doctorate or whatever, but they don't have that knowledge. I think this NEP has certain features which will definitely change the view, or you can say the understanding of the students in this prospect. One thing I feel is that NEP dismantles out the rigid distinction of choosing out all those streams, like whether it's humanities, whether it's science or commerce, everywhere. So now this choosing of this education line is not a bounded thing where only the science students can have this professor sort of a degree and all. So when we dismantle out this rigidness of being into a certain framework of science streams and all subjects and all, so an openness to the minds comes out, and they can think about in a vague manner to opt for such career. Then I think there is one key, because this new NEP has this coupled up with hybrid sort of learning also. Digital platforms we talk about. So it's not that boring chalk to talk method also. So maybe now this will bring a new mindset to the new candidates regarding this, and they'll start valuing it. The education has also moved from chalk to talk method to more experiential learning methods. Hands-on activity methods have become more interactive, more interesting, where they can find a place to come on with their creativity. And as you said, like number of the candidates are just coming up into this just because it's a common one. When they don't get any other opportunity, they come to this line. So I feel that in spite of choosing education as a career, they should basically think about what the real potential they have. This NEP will definitely bring that change in the thinking process of the upcoming generation, that education is not merely, it's not limited to the books and all. If you really want to get yourself a skill, if you really want to show up your talent, if you really want to come out that latent qualities which you have and you aspire for something, that is possible. Your creativity, now you will get a platform where your creativity can be highlighted and will be recognized. You could be a face of tomorrow. So it is so full of confidence and all that will definitely change the orthodox sorts of thinking and all. And this new variations in hybrid learning, digital platforms, everything will become more interactive, I think, and that will give it a grace.
Great, thank you so much. I think bang on, you spoke about that the mindset of the educators need to be changed. Why they are choosing a profession has to be changed. Any different perspective which you would like to bring, Lakshmi ma'am, to this? Anything related to, and assessment parameters for the educators, the continuous, along with continuous professional development, some kind of assessment? Yes, Lakshmi ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, can you please repeat? I was not
what I was saying, that we were talking about, for those who have also entered, we were talking about national education policy and how important is teacher empowerment, if we want to have 21st century skilled students, we need to equip first our teachers with the 21st century education skills, because a report of UN says that half of the teaching workforce will be replaced because of lacking of certain. So what do you have to say on that? Yes, please throw something.
So it's like I would like to initially, before starting starting to answer this question, I would like to say a big what to say a token of appreciation or maybe a respect to all the teachers here. I know how tough the job is. I have been there for 5 or 6 years in different colleges, engineering colleges, and also I know most of the time we'll be with the records, with the assignments. So we are not getting enough time to focus on what the students are thinking, how to support them. So a lot of things are there. So I would, one thing I would say here is a lot of new things are coming up, a lot of new technological innovations are coming up. So there are different platforms that teachers can depend for the assessment, so that they'll be able to focus more on the student part, on the learning, on imparting education, what the students need. So it's like we have different AI tools which will help our teachers to evaluate the papers that our students have attended. In our university, we have such tools. So it's like every teacher is should be equipped to use those type of systems. Every teacher should have an idea about what all things they should use or which all software they can depend in such a way that their evaluation is the or how they'll be able to communicate what the kid needs to their parents and all these things. So one thing to every teacher here is we are planning to teach our students to be 21st century kids or smart kids. So we first have to embrace all the things to understand the technologies that are coming up, understand the platforms that are there. We first have to educate ourselves, and then only we'll be able to deal with these kids who are way more smarter than us.
All right. Yes, that's a very valid point, Lakshmi, that we have to empower our teachers to use the various platforms and equip them with various techniques and technological integrated approach to deal with the smart kid approach. But in between, I would like here, I have a question for you from Miss Tanu Sharma. Sorry, Tanya Sharma. Is Miss Tanya Sharma here? I would like you to ask your question directly to Miss Lakshmi Madhavan. Is Miss Tanya there? Can we unmute her, please? All right. I will pitch this question. Is Miss Tanya there, or should I speak on her behalf? So the question is to you, Miss Lakshmi, from our viewers, how to bridge the gap between school education and vocational training institutions, and your views on role of education colleges and vocational training institutions in making educators as sustainable as the SDGs of, that's what now, as the SDGs of United Nations. Yes.
Yes. So the first, I think I would like to answer this question in 2 parts. So the first part I think is like how to bridge the gap between the school education and the different training institutions, or maybe that's like we do, how we are teaching our students is like based on our curriculum. It's like we are mostly focusing on academics. That I know why, because I have been in schools, colleges for different years. We are having maybe a 10-month or 8-month time. We need to complete our curriculum. We need to teach all of them the mathematical equations, the science part, and all of them. So we are very busy in teaching the students. As an educator, what I felt when I shifted from the school to the UG part, or to the other side, the technological part of the education industry, is something like we need to teach them why they are studying all these things. That is really important. It's like, as Shalini Gupta ma'am have already mentioned, something like students should we should give them an opportunity to choose between It's like everybody is studying science, so I'll join engineering. So it's not like that. Everybody should have an understanding about which is his path or which is his way. For that, we as teachers should give them an idea about why they are studying all these things or which are the technologies that have come up. Something like blockchain or something like data analytics. I would say data scientists or data analytics. All these
Yeah.
are the new things that have come up. So we should give or teach students. It's not about the primary mathematics or the basics of physics, science. Everything has to be there. But above that, we need to give them idea about what's happening around. It's not about the GK, about the technological innovations that are coming up. Why? Because after 5 or 10 years, maybe automation will be into 100%. A lot of jobs will not be there. The student has to have an idea about what's happening. Then only he'll be able to survive in the market after 10 or 15 years. That's what the demand is. So we as teachers, I know it's really tough as a teacher to teach them something or to discuss something with students out of curriculum, to take time for that thing. It's really tough for a teacher. We are running behind curriculum and all those things. So we need to give an idea to students on what why this technology has come up, what is the need of this thing. So if you're going into this field, what can happen? So that has to be done from every teacher. And this is something as a request to everybody. Just try to give an idea about something like a small example I would like to mention here. When my
Please
teacher
go.
was in my school days, when my mathematics teacher was teaching me integration, I was like, why this teacher is teaching me double integral? And I was like, I'm not a fan of mathematics now also. So we need to give them where integration or differentiation is being used. I would say a simple example. The braking function of a car, we use an integral function to calculate it. Nobody thinks in that way. So it's like we need to give some spark to the students on, yeah, you are studying this or this is needed. Why? Because you'll be using this in that time. The small hint has to be given that can make the students curious. Now they'll research about the things. That's what our student mentality is nowadays. Just a spark we need to insert in the students, and the rest they'll do from their side. It's like they are having multiple resources. So that spark, we are responsible to get or have that spark in our kids. So I hope
Great.
I was able to answer the question.
Yeah, I hope Tanya, you have been, Ms. Tanya Sharma, you are unmuted now, and I really hope your query is satisfied. We also have a query
Good
from
evening.
Mr. Yes, Ms.
Good
Tanya.
evening, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. My query is being sorted out the first part of it, but I'm still curious about to know what exactly the role of the education institution in inculcating that idea to the new educators who are coming. Because
Yes, ma'am.
that ma'am is your analysis has just said that most of the educators will be outdated if new technology, new NEP policy will be there. Implemented in a proper way without vocational training things and other things, blockchaining and other new technological things. So what the new education institution needs to inculcate in the new educators who are the
So,
I just wanted to know that.
yes, ma'am. So as I could answer this question from my part. So it's like we as Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, we have different sessions and workshops for teachers. We'll
Yes,
have artificial intelligence workshops for teachers, and that too in our campus. They can come here, stay for some days. They can work with robots. So that's how we are equipping teachers. And we have some programs like Amrita Cafe, Amrita Oil, where the teachers will be discussing about different technologies, about blockchain, about cryptocurrency, about everything that's happening around, about digital analytics, what a data scientist is doing. So it's like we have different programs. Even we used to go to schools, maybe a one-day workshop for the teachers there. We'll give a basic idea. If they want more details, we are always here to help. So this is the way we are helping educators to be in a sync with the different technologies that are coming up.
great. Thank you so much, Lakshmi ma'am. Now, Lakshmi ma'am has said sending teachers out for trainings. Very right, very good. But let's hear out from our principals. Is it feasible? Is it possible? And how can they, which is required, but how can we integrate this in that jam-packed curriculum where we are reducing our holidays, the pressure of completion of syllabus is a lot. Then there are other child-related issues which teachers are facing. So, yes, Ms. Shalini, I can see you smile there. What is your suggestion and how would you counter or agree or create a via media with Lakshmi ma'am? Because what Lakshmi ma'am has said is right. The teachers need to go beyond their classroom. Yes.
Yeah, ma'am. What Lakshmi ma'am said, I totally agree with that because teachers are considered as, the superpower people. We have the superpowers. So we can do anything that is, that is impossible. We are there to make it I am possible. So everything is possible if we talk about legal scenario. But yes, we can take this example also of COVID. जहां कोई नहीं पहुंच सका वहां टीचर पहुंच गया. This is what we had already proved.
Yes.
So the place where nothing has reached, teacher is the only person who could reach there. Their sayings, their learnings, everything has reached to the student. Yes, NEP 2020, obviously, it is very new. Certain reforms, changes, whole lot of new ideas have been put into this. And we are actually the generation which is going to implement or execute it. Fine. So we are still not knowing how to get it done and what will be the outcome of it. We are still in the mediation of it. We are the people who will initiate it, but we don't know the outcome. We are only expecting the best out of it. The thing where we were lacking, or to bridge those gaps where we feel like, yes, something should have to be taken place now. We are lacking here. So we need to work on that. On the basis of our previous lacking results and readings, observations, we have prepared this NEP. But still, ma'am, we are still in process. We are under trainings. We don't know how it is going to outcome. Everybody aspire for good. Everybody hope for the best. But when you implement something, something comes into initiation. That is the toughest part. And we are the pioneers who are going to do this. So we hope to have everything good. Teachers are under training. We are our mentors. As a mentors, we are also going through training parts and portals. Every day we are attending up such online sessions and all, just to broaden out our, that horizon of understanding. Like from you, we are getting points. It's not like I know certain parts of NEP. Lakshmi ma'am must be knowing a major part of NEP. Pratiksha ma'am is so learned one. She knows all about NEP. But still, when it comes about implementation, no, things change. As the question comes up, what is the role? How you are going to bridge out that this candidate is asking about? That gap has to be bridged on. Educator's role. So, ma'am, educator's role is to actually come up with all the points where a child or a candidate should be satisfied.
Great.
So
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Moving on to, we are here discussing how successful NEP would be in realization of sustainable development goals, and in particular SDG 4. We were discussing various aspects from ECC to teacher preparedness to whole lot of other aspects. Now we take up another important aspect, and my question is first to Pratiksha ma'am, and definitely because it is related, I would like Lakshmi ma'am to comment on it. Another major focus of NEP 2020 is to achieve targets of UN SDG on education is increasing technological advancement. We all know that technology is an enabler. Technology is here to stay. However, the 80% of the teaching force, we were not trained. Our system did not equip us to be tech friendly. Last 10 years, yes, things have been changing, but before that, it was majorly a chalk and talk method. But now, with the newer demands, technological advancement will lead to the professional development among the teachers. As many teachers ask, would technology replace teachers? And my answer is no, technology will not replace teachers, but teachers who use technology will definitely replace teachers who don't use technology. Using technology platforms, I'm sure as educators you've heard of Swayam, Diksha, and they are doing a lot of wonderful work in, trying to encourage standardized training programs. How effective do you feel technology platforms are in helping teachers gain this technological expertise? Is it really happening? Is the scenario changing? Yes, Dr. Pratiksha, first you, but since we are running short of time, so I would like to take up as many questions and answers should be brief and crisp. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, I totally agree, ma'am. And it was the technology only which saved us during past 2 years when we are passing through the pandemic time. So technology has made education easy for all the stakeholders, not only for the students or teachers, but for everyone by providing a student-friendly technology or different apps, we can say, having a diverse range of technological tools, and these tools make learning more interesting, interactive, meaningful, and stimulating for the students. We were using internet, YouTube, Skype, Twitter, smart boards, jam boards, blogs, and whatnot, podcast, and many other things. These are some of the successful tools which were used by all of us, and that has totally changed the way subjects are taught now. Take for example the English language. Teachers today use different techniques like movie clippings or advertisements or commentaries, dramatics, and more. Not only it makes the session much more interesting than the old traditional book style teaching, but also keeps the learner attentive throughout the session in the class. Now, using the internet, teachers have access to all the known information in the world with the press of a few keys, allowing them to find the exact answer to their problems in a matter of minutes, we can say. Of course, thanks to the giant Google search engine. So, with devices such as smart boards and projectors, it is far easier for all of us to draw sketches and graphs. If the maths teacher is going to the class, drawing graphs and then teaching mathematics on the screen as well, it becomes more easy, and it is far easier for the students to understand. Furthermore, a teacher can pull up a picture of any question or exercise on the screen instead of having, to dictate the entire questions from a book or having to write them on the board. So with the rising popularity of sites like YouTube, you must have seen so many YouTubers nowadays. So anyone anywhere in the world who has the will to teach, they can make videos and post these videos and lectures on the internet for the people who want to view it later, and they are earning also. It's a source of earning also. So you must have heard about Apple Distinguished School. Right, the Nexus International School, I'm giving an example. An accolade given only to schools. This Apple Distinguished School is an accolade. It is given to the schools that welcome innovation, right? So they are known for using a unique technical or teaching model, which is known as SAMR. It is, if I'm not wrong, it is substitution, augmentation, modification, and redefinition. So what happens? It allows all the learners to research topics with remarkable speed, and makes online collaboration always possible, because nowadays we are talking about global collaboration with abroad, students and teachers abroad also. So the school is also open to using apps now that use augmented reality in various classes, as informed by Lakshmi ma'am, to really heighten the immersion of the students. So these apps, what will happen in turn, also make group discussion interactive and fun, engaging all the students. The same openness to technology is apparent in James World Academy also, what I found. Machine learning, AI, virtual VI, all these softwares. And nowadays we are using one more term, LMS, that is learning management system. Most of the institutions are developing this learning management system, and here also in our institution also we are in the process of developing it. So this learning management system technologies, it analyze the performance of the students in a highly personalized manner, in a in-depth manner, and the collaboration between teachers and students, it becomes easy, and make references and learning resources always within arm's reach. So sorry, according to me, planning is very easy, as said by Shalini ma'am. I totally agree that planning the things is easy, but how to implement it and how to maintain that position of acquiring success, that is more important according to my view.
Great. Thank you so much. And I just want to intervene here before I take Lakshmi's viewpoints, is that, you see, the future of education is going to be very, very different, not just in terms of its philosophy and ideology, but also in terms of its execution. And as we were talking, ma'am mentioned about blockchain technology, education in metaverse, introduction as NEP has introduced, artificial intelligence. So the whole scenario is going to be extremely, extremely different when now it will be truly student driven, as student will have the choice and flexibility that we are talking so much about. It would not remain the flexibility of choosing the curriculum. The time will come, he will have the flexibility of choosing the educator, choosing the mode of education as well. And soon with AI, I'm sure so many things are going to become, which are today so important. The hierarchy, the authority, that is going to change due to the blockchain technology, the coming in of artificial intelligence, and soon we'll be heading towards what is known as education 5.0, or the fifth education revolution, which then will be truly student governed. So now when we talk about technology, very briefly, Lakshmi ma'am, if you could just tell us that what the future education, because we are all very well aware of NEP and how it's embedding and the use of technology, but something, if you could tell our viewers about how the future of education would look like in terms of technology integration.
So it's like I would, when it comes to NEP part, I would like to refer the blending of technology with the teaching and the learning process through the NETF, that's the National Education Technology Forum. I hope everyone knows about it, about the different education tools, about the different platforms that we as educators can use to help our students. I know everybody is having an idea about the different assessment methods, or how to plan, how to administer the whole process. So, I would say government is coming up with a lot of new platforms where we as teachers can interact, and we as teachers can provide our ideas on what we need as the training part, or what we need from the government, or maybe from the technological people, what support we need from their part to improve or to help our kids. And one more thing I would like to mention at this point is something like, I know a lot of schools are equipped with different new facilities. I know a lot of schools have AI labs, then ATL labs, the adult tinkering labs. But what I felt is something like most of the labs after the initial 1 or 2 years, it's just closed because the resource person is not there. So I have visited a lot of schools, but I've seen this thing. So we as teachers need to get an idea about the latest technological innovations, and we should have the ability to impart these skills to the students. We have studied a lot. We have the capacity to do this also, and we can make use of the different tools. As Devyani ma'am told about the Diksha, the Swayam, the National Digital Education Architecture. So all these are some of the tools that we can make use to help our students.
Great, thank you so much. That when we talk about the future of education, and as I just said, that future of education will be extremely different in terms of its education. Very important is teacher preparedness. It is important that as educators, we need to, number one, not choose this profession of teaching as our second option, because the time will be that only those for whom this teaching is a calling will be the people, will be the educators who will sustain themselves in this new education setup, because we don't even know as they say, 69, about 3 million jobs will become redundant, and we don't even know what kind of jobs will come in the next decade. So what is required is student preparedness, and whether it is national education policy or it is sustainable development goals, they are all geared, they are all those policies and mandates designed as an answer to the changing world order, to the new world order, which definitely would be an order which will be driven by the skills, by the capacities of the individuals. And in the end, we have, I would just like our panelists to speak at least 2 sentences as their resting statement on this webisode today. But to our viewers, please don't go. We shall soon announce the result of the quiz that was conducted in the beginning, and the winners will get a certificate of participation. Yes. So Diksha ma'am, Pratiksha ma'am, first is your turn. Very crisp, 2 sentences about the future of education
So I would like to bring forth 5 P's of sustainable development. That is people, planet, partnership, peace, and philanthropy. And it needs to be propagated amongst the students, and these 5 P's will also help in revitalizing the education system. And also one more thing, second sentence of mine, I'll not go beyond this. The opportunities to bring in changes, they are immense, and the only thing is the conviction, commitment, and the realization that the power to shape children lies with us only, because onus has come to the schools now. So it is our responsibility, and that's why we, being teachers, let's take pledge that will create a better world where I can say Babe Dion's words is coming to my mind. In the end, we will conserve only what we love, we will love only what we understand, and we will understand only what we are taught. So it's a great responsibility on our shoulder.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Shalini ma'am, very briefly, what are your esteemed comments for this show today?
Ma'am, please unmute yourself.
Yeah. Am I audible now? So, ma'am, being very precise, I would like to end up with 3 E's now. As ma'am has taken up P's, I will come up with E for elephant, that is engage. Students should engage themselves in that journey of teaching learning. That is the new pedagogy we can say. So students' engagement is very much important. Every child should engage himself or herself in this journey. Second is experience. You have to build your own experience, because that can give you that crystal clear vision for your tomorrow. So please experience this journey yourself. And finally, I would say enable. Enable yourself to perform the best of you and to face any of the challenge that is inside. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Quick, brief, and crisp. Thank you. Yes, Lakshmi ma'am.
So it's like, it was really wonderful to be a part of this session. So I think I would close this with a statement. This was the statement will be there in everybody's mind. Something like, we are, as teachers, everybody will feel like we are yesterday's people preparing today's children for tomorrow. Maybe the statement will be there. It's like a statement of confusion that will be there in everyone's mind. Even I have that confusion when I feel like I want to study something. I want to take a session about a new topic. How I'll be doing it. So it's like every choice can make a difference. So to all the educators here, make that choice, understand that it will take time, but we all can do our bit by taking up small steps. We all can contribute to the success of whether it's the educational policy, or whether it's the goals, or whether it's helping our children. We all can contribute to the success of our children. So please try to educate ourselves with what all resources are available, and be always open to changes, embrace everything that's coming up in your way. Just give it a try. That's what I have to say. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. बातें बहुत हुई, मुद्दे बहुत उठाए गए. आखिर में, can you please stop sharing? आखिर में बस केवल यही कहना चाहूंगी सब अध्यापकों के लिए, सब स्कूलों के लिए, एनईपी के रिलेशन में, कि सफर में धूप तो होगी, जो चल सको तो चलो, भी है भीड़ में, तुम भी निकल सको तो चलो, उधर कहीं मंजिल है, चल सको तो चलो, बने बनाए हैं सांचे, जो ढल सको तो चलो. So for educators, I just want to say, आपको खुद ही धूप में चलना है, आपको खुद ही ढलना है, और आपको खुद ही गांडीव उठानी है, और अपने आप को नए तरीके से नए दौर में तराशना है. Thank you so much. Over to you, Anjali, to announce the result. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Please wait for the results and the last video.
Unfortunately, I haven't received the correct answer. So the correct answer is, first question was, how many sub goals are there in SDG 4? So there are 10 sub goals in SDG 4. The second question was, which goal talks about equal access to affordable technical, vocational and higher education? So SDG goal 4.3 talks about equal access to affordable technical, vocational and higher education. The third question was, which SDG goals ensure that all learners acquire the knowledge and skills needed to promote sustainable development? So SDG goal 4.7 talks about education for sustainable development and global citizenship.
बहुत काम बाकी है इंडिया. अभी तो हमें सही आंसर भी नहीं पता लगे कि एसडीजी में क्या क्या लिखा है और एनईपी क्या कहती है. Anyways, better luck next time. Can we have the AV, please? Team Edudevs. I would like to make an announcement that Edudevs is coming up with its Edu Intern programs for 4 weeks, which is our winter internship program. It is a free internship online program. Please encourage your students to register for this internship. Thank you so much. And goodbye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks a
Bye.
lot.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.